Happy to see everyone join me. Hello. Hi. I want to focus on melasma because our customer has a lot of melasma going on. Our customer is suffering from hormonal imbalances, often is what causes melasma, but melasma is a type of hyperpigmentation. What exactly is hyperpigmentation? It's actually pigment patches that develop mostly from sun exposure. It can be caused by medication. It can be caused by, we'll learn a little bit more of some interesting things that actually cause it. It's important to know because a lot of people suffer when they have it and they don't know what else to do about it. How do I actually work on improving it or have it go away completely? We all get sun exposure and our skin is constantly responding to that sun exposure. When you actually have melasma, it's caused by also your hormonal imbalances, typically from being pregnant. That is when it happens a lot for most people. The good news is about when we do get pigment patches and pigment buildup, our skin is always repairing itself, but it also is repairing pigment patches, so it's taking it away. That is the good news. So it's an interesting way of looking at it. One thing that is true about melasma treatment is not to get laser treatments. So that comes up a lot. Laser treatments actually pushes it deeper into the skin. So it becomes more of an issue. So as the skin heals, it's healing from the bottom up. And if you're pushing the pigment down further, it gets harder to treat. You do want to avoid any type of laser treatment. You want to look for product is a really amazing way to help with any hyperpigmentation. Our skin has something called melanin in it, and melanin overcreation of it actually becomes more of the problem. So you get these pigment patches. How do I get melasma to stop getting darker when it's hot? It's basically how, if it's actually from a temperature, it's how your vasosystem is dealing with it. Kind of like when we get hot, we get flushed. So there's probably nothing really to do about that except to cool down and to really work on the melasma in general. But it's just going to be a response that our body has to heat no matter what, and it's going to draw out the pigment more. That's actually already there. So it's not causing it to be worse, it's just causing it to be more apparent. It's gonna drive it down deeper into the skin, which is not what we want. We want to get it up to the surface, and we want to break up pigment patches. So a really great way to do that is through B vitamins. So B vitamins, I'm talking about within skincare, but also within our body as well. B vitamins are the #1 vitamin for protein repair. More B vitamins, the better. They work together. They will work to break up pigment patches, but that's not enough. So you also want to bring in some acids are really amazing. Alpha arbutin is one of my favorites ingredients for I use it not alone. I don't believe in that. I think a lot of you know that by now. I believe in mixing it into something that our body can uptake easily. It's not going to be too abrasive. So if you're dealing with hyperpigmentation and melasma, it's a form of inflammation already. So you do want to drive down inflammation. So you want to be careful about how intense you go after anything on the skin. So you're really going to be looking for any type of acids, alpha arbutin, high levels of antioxidants, really great. Copper peptides, actually, believe it or not, are really great at breaking up pigment as well. So you want to look for a healthy combination of these ingredients, and they do work. They really do work. We have a lot of before and afters and clinicals on our BioCell and our BioCorrecting cream, which are using that technology to actually break up pigment and help the skin heal itself. So also what's really interesting is this is an overproduction of the pigment. But too little melanin also causes the white patches in people's skin. So no matter what, you can treat it in a very similar way. Look at the gut. Look at how the gut is responding. Look at that bacteria level that could be creating a hormonal imbalance or creating an inflammation to the skin. What is the difference between melasma and hyperpigmentation? So I kind of said that really quickly at the beginning, but not slow enough. Hyperpigmentation is a broad term. So you're talking about all different things when you talk about hyperpigmentation. You're talking about freckles even, sunspots. You're talking about all different things. Melasma is a certain look. It's very lacy, typically connected to hormones as only. Whereas hyperpigmentation overall can be caused by acne scars. It can be caused by medication. Usually sun exposure is the #1 common, because the sun is what's causing any type of skin color, pigment to respond. I think we all experience that. Sun is the common denominator. However, it's not just sun, it's sun combined with something else that's creating this overproduction of pigment patches. So the goal is to get in there, distribute the pigment, and repair the pigment. And can it come back? Definitely. If it's under the same circumstances, I think really keeping your gut in tune, probiotics, prebiotics, would be something worthwhile to see whether your inflammation is driven down by getting that bacteria load under control. Vitamin C is a good one too. Anything high in antioxidant levels is really going to help your body just heal in general, your skin heal in general. So you really want to look for that combination in your skincare. And I think people get super frustrated by it. I think it's really important to remember that it can go away on its own. The body is constantly repairing, but there's a lot of tools out there that are super successful. Our biocorrecting line, all the Pro B vitamins are really a testament to that you can break up that. I am ready for more questions. What is your ideal routine for hyperpigmentation? Really, really good question. So I didn't really touch on this, but an important thing, and I'm glad I was just asked, an important element is acids. You want to really get in there and exfoliate, not over exfoliate. You want to do it in a gentle way. So enzymes are really great at that. And you can, then it gives your new cells a chance. So you can get rid of dead skin cells, get your new cells a chance to come out. And then you want to look for really good ingredients, acids, alpha-arbutin, Pro B vitamin, copper peptides are all really amazing ingredients. You want to have them developed into a cocktail of also nourishment and protection. So you want to have the antioxidants within that formulation as well to really deliver it in a way that's not going to be too inflammatory. Really great question, because I do think skimmed over the use of acids and peeling, but do it very gentle. Otherwise, your body over responds. So again, we're going to look at that gut level. How is that? Is that off? Is it even? How is that contributing possibly to your overproduction of pigment within the sun? So, any other vitamin C? I think I said that, but vitamin C should not be forgotten. It's really great at protecting it from, so you want to look at it not only how do I get rid of it, but how do I possibly prevent it from happening again as well. You know, if you know that your can respond that way to the sun, avoid being out in the sun too much. Seems very simplistic. It is definitely something that should be looked at. I think what I find really super interesting is how you can go backwards. You can get the skin repairing itself and preventing itself, so you're not really suffering from it as much. You can get it all over your body, different areas. It's not just your face, it's the back of your hands. It's on, hyperpigmentation is pretty common within the skin from multiple different things. And again, going back, melasma is typically related to hormonal changes. Not a lot of control over that, except for all of the, looking at the gut, looking at the ingredients and staying out of the sun. No laser. I said that earlier. You don't want a laser because laser will bring it deeper into the skin. Yes, I have had laser treatment. You don't want to, when you're dealing with the goal to break up pigment is to break up in those front areas of the skin, the top. You want to push it up and you want to recycle it. That's why doing a peel is super important because you want to get those dead skin cells out and get those new ones coming out. Laser will drive everything down deeper, so that's the problem. And then you're kind of at square one, or maybe a little further away from square one, because you're dealing with pigment that's at the beginning layer when you're trying to push it out and get the new cells out. How long do you feel it might take to lighten and get rid of spots, and what is the best way to avoid them? It typically takes, I mean, it's really interesting from our treatment before through products. You start to see a pretty significant difference in about 4 to 6 weeks. You will start to, you probably, if you're really analyzing it, see it sooner than that, but the eye, where you can see a change in the size of pigment patches, is 4 to 6 weeks most likely. Maybe could be sooner, could be later, but that's probably typical. So best way to avoid them is to keep the gut healthy, keep the gut in balance, and to avoid sun, and to give your skin the ingredients it needs to keep your pigment levels under control, because your body is trying to repair those patches all the time. Sometimes they go away by themselves. If I can't do laser, what treatments can I do? You probably, if you're really dealing with hyperpigmentation, I would do a peel, right? Not a heavy duty peel. If you do, I would do a light peel. I think that's probably the best. Hyaluronic acids are good. I think a regular peel doesn't have to be seasonal. I think you will see a lot of sun damage, obviously, when you're leaving the summertime, when you've been out a little bit more, because you can't help it, you have to go out. And so that's probably a really good time to get in there and do a peel. Again, make sure it's not too abrasive and aggressive, which would not be good because the body will respond with bigger inflammation. What is your favorite peel? I actually really would recommend somebody, so we have a product called pH Plus Enzyme Essence, and we don't typically talk about it as a peel, but for people with hyperpigmentation, it is a dream. You are getting the enzymes in there, so enzymes are very mild exfoliation, so you're not necessarily peeling, but you're getting that exfoliation all the time, and you're also getting really great vitamin C and levels for brightening. There's this beautiful brightening effect to this product at the same time. But interestingly, there is some science behind the fact that it's also leveling out your pH level, so your biome level is actually improved. If your biome internally, right, your gut, we talked about the gut earlier, but if your biome is improved, it can actually prepare and protect your skin better no matter what. So that's a really great question, because I forgot to talk about that product. It is a great product. People see a lot of brightening effects just for that product alone, but also preventative because of your pH level and your skin biome is in check. I think the overriding message I want everyone to feel is that it's treatable. You're not just in this is what I have and this is what I have to experience and deal with, but there's multiple ways to go after it, and it actually can be broken up and dramatically as well. Dew also feels so powerful. You can really see a difference when you use it weekly. Yes, so I didn't talk about that when I said a peel, because I really thought about the pH, which is such a great product for people suffering from hyperpigmentation and melasma because it's mild. If you do a patch test on the back of your hand with our dual acid peel and see how you respond. If you are pregnant, you might be or just had a baby, you might respond differently. That's why I say it. It's a glycolic and hyaluronic, so it's really going to be great at breaking up the pigment, getting those new cells coming out, and it's feeding it with the hyaluronic that I was saying earlier. Is super important to get in there and allow the skin to be hydrated in a natural, healthy way, which botanical hyaluronic is much better at doing that than a sodium hyaluronic, which is actually not natural and overly plumping of the skin, which will just let your skin down eventually. Also, hyaluronic acid has natural abilities to bring in other nutrients. So if it's within a botanical hyaluronic is within an ingredient deck that has all these other great ingredients in it, it's going to be delivering those ingredients deeper into the skin where that pigment needs to be broken up. That's why I have it in the biocorrecting cream. The biocorrecting cream really, we're gonna do a before and after pretty soon. That's pretty dramatic, that you'll see just from the BioCell and the biocorrecting cream really has repaired so much sun damage in this overproduction of pigment patches. And it's because of the science that I'm talking about, that it's delivered with the botanical, it's delivered with all pro-B vitamins, copper peptides, alpha-arbutin, vitamin C, really great combination without being inflammatory to the skin as well, which is what you need to look for when you're trying to battle pigment patches. I was a little late because I couldn't get on, so I'm gonna stay on a little bit longer. So I would love any questions, any more that I didn't really, I really wanted to talk about this because I see a lot of people asking questions and feeling frustrated with their skin and kind of really wanting to know what the answers are. I also wanted to kind of spread the word that it's treatable. It really, you can really break it up and actually see discoloration in the skin just from not having exfoliated. So if you kind of need to really get in there and exfoliate, you see that on the neck a lot, but if you really need to get in there and exfoliate, you can actually exfoliate the back of your hands, because we get sunspots from the back of our hands we're prone to, just because our hands are always in the sun and we don't really put anything ever on them. I would say once a month, but you can do more if you need to, but I don't think it's really needed because that would be around the cycles of the skin renewal. Oh, does retin serums really help? Really good question too. Yes. I didn't even talk about retinol. So retinol can really help. Retinol really is developed for fine lines and wrinkles. So it depends on what I would say. I'm hesitant to talk about retinol for hyperpigmentation because it's irritating. It's high levels of vitamin A. So it depends on how it's delivered and in what form and how much. So I would prefer to stick to the other ingredients I talked about. Retinol is a form of exfoliation, but sometimes it can be a little strong and dehydrating to the skin. So I probably would stick to the other types of ingredients I talked about to really heal the skin at the same time. If you're looking to relieve yourself from fine lines and wrinkles, it's an amazing ingredient. If you have acne, it can be really helpful. But for what we're talking about, probably the others. But thank you, everybody. I love this conversation. I feel like there's so much more to say. That's why I'm kind of hoping to see what everyone's thinking about. I hope I really got in and talked about, does retin serums really help with melasma? Yeah, they do, because of the exfoliation process of what they're doing. I mean, again, I don't think excessive retinol is helpful. I think anything to too high of a levels, but is it super, like, especially if you have a encapsulated retinol, which we use. So we use it in our eye serum, which is really great for the delicate eye area. And we use it in our retin C product along with vitamin C, which will really help. Actually, vitamin C is a really great product for that as well. I mean, ingredient. Is there any food groups to avoid for hyperpigmentation? I actually love that question. It's like a whole nother conversation, but it's really not about, so anything that's inflammatory to your gut, yes. What are the major inflammatory things? Dairy, wheat, alcohol. So you really just want to look at what your gut finds inflammatory. So you want to do a rotation diet to see how you respond to different things. That's a whole nother subject. But yeah, you want this level of your gut bacteria to be healthy. Therefore, it's not throwing off your hormones. Therefore, your inflammatory response, because your immune system's in your gut, most of it is, you want to make sure you always want to look at how your gut levels are performing. That's why probiotics, prebiotics, to get you to a healthy state. I don't believe in constantly taking prebiotics because then your body functions well on its own. You just need to get it back to where it needs to be. So yes, I think anything that's going to throw off that bacteria level of your gut you need to start looking at what is inflammatory to me. I know personally, I can't eat wheat, right? Wheat is extremely inflammatory, and to a lot of people, by the way. They might not know it quite yet, but so you need to find what that is and take that out of your diet and replace your gut bacteria when you feel you need to, whether you've been on antibiotics. Thank you, everybody. I went a little over on purpose because I was a little late, but thank you, everyone. Love the subject. Thank you for joining. I'll see you next time.